Bed. Love.
Bed.
Bed.
Love. Beyond.
Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
And the hater in us to discuss sex, love, relationships, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love like us. I'm Miss April.
I'm Jen.
And we have episode 140, Winter is Coming. What we would tell our 20-something selves and millennials of today. But first, Daily Dish. So we got a text.
Oh, yeah.
Our Bed Love Beyond number.
We had an actual text,
That was
guys.
exciting.
And it's still going. So someone texted us. We're not going to say their name, mostly because we don't know it. And asked for some advice. And he said he listened to one of the episodes and he wanted to get some feedback. So April and I kind of been texting back and forth to try to give some advice and hopefully we're helpful. I'll ask him maybe if we could share it on the air. Maybe we can all help him together. But thank you for texting, and others, you should join the train. I was like, wait, it was like, you have a text message. I was like, this is fake. And then I went into the app and I was like listening to voicemails. They're like, Bob, your plumbing's ready. I was like, what? But we had an actual text, so it was exciting.
Yes.
So that was cool. We're making moves and taking names. The other thing that's been bothering me this week, not that the text is bothering me, that was actually exciting, is that everyone's like bugging out about the Baby It's Cold Outside song.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually my favorite Christmas song. Like one of them.
I like Santa Baby by the one that is it Eartha Kitt singing,
I think she did
It's
one and then
Eartha
Madonna
Kitt.
did one.
Yeah, I like the Eartha Kitt one.
Yeah,
That's
I do
my
like that
favorite.
one.
Yeah.
I do like Drummer Boy. But I do like Baby It's Cold Outside. And the kid from Empire did it last year. It was really cute. But anyway, everyone's like, oh my god, it's Me Too. He's like, trying to drug her and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh my god, take it off the radio. And I think in Ohio, they did take it off the radio. I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, I feel like there's things that we should be offended by. And then I feel like there's things that we need to just get over. And I feel like sometimes people just really want to get mad. Like apparently vegans are upset because they don't like the phrase bring home the bacon.
Right.
Shut
and
the fuck
Peter
up.
wants you to stop saying kill two birds with one stone and stuff like bring home the bacon. And nobody's going to stop saying those things. So let that go.
No.
Not going to happen. Nobody's going to stop playing Baby It's Cold Outside. Not going to happen. I mean,
Basically, what I read was that Baby It's Cold Outside was written like, I posted on our Facebook page. It was written like in the 20s or 40s. An old English teacher just like went through the whole song and said that back in that day, it was very like uncommon and like, I don't know if faux pas is the right word. I don't think it is. But it was like very like taboo for a woman to be at a man's house that late or late at all. Mm-hmm. So when she's saying, what will the neighbors say? She's kind of like being flirty with him. Mm-hmm. Like, because she already knows that people are going to talk that she's out and she should be home by a certain time. Mm-hmm. And the whole, like, what's in my drink thing is basically a play on words back then, they said. That, like, back then when you were like, oh, what's in my drink? Mm-hmm. It was kind of like, oh, this water's making me so drunk. That's why I'm acting like an asshole. Right. Like, it wasn't like a real fucking Mickey being slept.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh my god, it's a rape song. We must take it off the radio. I'm like, no, we shouldn't. This is absolutely ridiculous.
And how did somebody just like, who determined this is a rape song?
I don't know. Maybe it was like feminists. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe it was like the feminine people who are like overly feminine and like, I don't know if it was them. It probably wasn't. It was people who want to be offended by shit. Just like the article that I saw yesterday, it said, Beyonce being like dressed up at the concert they just had in South Africa.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Global Citizens Festival. Mm-hmm. And her singing on stage with
Ed Sheeran and his
t-shirt was white privilege. And I was like, listen, I will not deny that white privilege exists, but I didn't know there was a dress code for concerts. Like, and that's just who Beyonce is. Like,
right. That's what I was thinking too. Like, I'm like, I don't know if that's privilege or if that's more so a style thing. Like, she's kind of doing what's expected of her. And he's doing what's, like, if Ed Sheeran was out there in anything else, his fans would be like, what is he doing with that on?
With a suit and tie on.
Right. Or if he tried to be, like, really in some kind of, like, fancy, whatever, I don't know, like, leather pants, I don't know what a white dude with a guitar would wear that's fancy. I guess leather pants or some kind of, like,
I don't know,
Rolling Stones outfit. People are like, what the fuck is Ed Sheeran wearing? Like, no, this is a matter of, like his personal style. That's just how he is.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if and then somebody was like, oh, you know, even Jay-Z gets dressed up when he's on stage with Beyonce, and then everyone was coming with, like, the pictures of him looking in jeans t-shirt. Yeah. I was like, yo, I thought, like, when I first read it, I was like, am I reading this? Like, I am not going to sit here and deny the whole white privilege thing, but I'm not going to sit there and be like, Ed Sheeran was using his white privilege to go on stage. Right. I'm like...
Besides, like, Diddy and the Migos, I can't think of any other rapper who, like, and, like, maybe, like, Biggie and Pun.
Right.
But I can't think of any other rapper who was, like, on stage in a like, dress shirt. And, like, most of the other, like, DMX used to be on stage, like, in jeans with no shirt.
And then they were, like, showing pictures of, like, Adam Sandler and, like, I forget who else the other guy was, like, at, like, some award show, and they were, like, looking, like, really super sloppy. And I'm like, I don't necessarily think anyone should go to the award show looking sloppy. And, you know...
But that's those people's personality.
Right.
Because you might also see, like, at David Beckham at an award show in a Versace tux.
Right.
I mean, you know, like, or you'll...
Lady Gaga wore a meat dress. Like...
Right.
I mean, some things I look at the internet and I'm like... It is really like, what are we offended by today, people? And I'm just like, holy shit.
Right. Because it's like,
How
that's
much time
just
do
these
you
people's
have?
style, that's personal style. Because you'll have, like, certain, like, you know, certain white dudes in, like, a, you know, $5,000 tuxedo on the red carpet.
If this podcast blew up and we had to go somewhere, like, on stage, on camera, I still think I'd want to wear my yoga pants.
Right.
And a t-shirt. I'm like,
I know Marquesa was married to Harvey Weinstein, but can she make me a dress? Is that going to offend y'all? Because she made some bad shit. Now, I'm just saying. She made some nice-ass dresses. I'm like, I know he forced y'all to wear it, but I liked it. So, can Marquesa make me a dress? Because...
Oh, man. So, today we're talking about what we would tell our 20-year-old selves. And I figured, as like, I'm sure April does have a book to recommend, but I looked up on Audible. If you guys are still interested in our Audible trial, that's still going on at audibletrial.com/bedlovebeyond. There's a book by Jessie Klein. Apparently she's a comedian, and she got 4.5 out of 5 stars, so that's always good to know. And she has a book called You'll Grow Out of It, and it's a comedic look at how she is exploring herself as a 21st century woman. She said she was both a tomboy and a late bloomer, and she grew up feeling more like an outsider than a participant in the rights of modern femininity. And it kind of talks about all the transformations that she's gone through and then where she's at now, which I kind of thought was just appropriate for the podcast. So you could check out Jessie Klein's book. She's a comedian. You'll Grow Out of It on Audible. You guys get a free trial, and if anyone who's using the free trial, let me know how it's going. I love Audible, especially like when you're working, you can just listen, or driving in the car. I don't have time to read. I don't know where you find the time, April, but...
Work. But I usually read my lunch break. If I get to work early, I'll read. If my kid goes to sleep early, I'll read. Usually.
I think I can read.
But I
feel
noticed...
like reading of Michelle Obama before he sleeps.
Like, I was reading my book the other night, and he was like, "What does the book say?" I'm like, "Soon, son. Soon you'll understand." But I was just thinking too, like with the and that's www.audibletrial.com/bedlovebeyond. The whole word. That's what I was just thinking, because I'm in I'm almost, but you know what? Even though I find time to read, it's like very little small increments. Mm-hmm. So it's like it takes me forever to read one book nowadays. Right. Unless it's a really easy to read book, like a biography or something, I'll speed through it. But like I'm reading a book about Norse mythology, and I've been reading that all in November. Lord have mercy, I'm tired of it. It's interesting, but I'm tired. But I was just thinking, like, if you're gonna get rid of Baby It's Cold Outside, get rid of Game of Thrones. And that shit ain't happening. I'm just saying. Because in these, like, they're just giving their, like, sisters and shit away. Like, you can have my sister. Or if I do you this favor, you gotta let me marry your sister.
But that's a different kind of art for people. And they're like, no, we don't want to be offended by that.
Yeah. Because I'm reading it, and it's like, oh, if you give me, because, like, if the father's the king, the father died, now the brothers is in charge of the sister. So I'm reading Norse mythology, and it's like, all right, if we defend you in this battle, you gotta give me your sister. He's like, all right, cool.
What?
Like, I'm like, well, you gonna get rid of that, then you gotta protest Game of Thrones. Because women are just being given away on
Objects,
that shit.
Objects.
Like, yeah.
Oh, left and right.
So you gotta watch it, because you come for Game of Thrones, you coming for me. I mean, it is what it is. Period piece or not. Like, baby,
I've never seen anyone so excited about Game of Thrones coming back in April.
But Baby It's Cold. Like, Game of Thrones is, in movies like this, considered a period piece. Baby It's Cold Outside is a period piece in song form.
Right.
It's historical. It's an old ass song. Like, just like Norse mythology is old ass stories with super old shit happening. Get rid of the whole Bible.
Yeah.
Like, the whole Bible is patriarchal and misogynistic and everything you want to call it. I mean, it is what it is. So it's like, get rid of church. You go to some churches, like, a lot of people, if you're Catholic, you go to mass. You wear, you go in your little sweater and jeans or whatever. But it's a lot of churches you gotta go decked out. And women are in skirts. Women can't wear pants in church because it says somewhere in the Bible. Women can't do this in church because it says somewhere in the Bible. Women gotta wear this because it's somewhere in the Bible and say so. So it's like, come on. You're gonna be getting rid of and protesting a whole lot if you just wanna put too much weight on these things. It takes away from the Me Too movement what's more important.
Right.
You're taking away from it with that dumb stuff. Focus on what's more important, what's going to make women some higher incomes out here. Since we unmarried at 40, we need higher incomes. Let's focus on that. People can stop being roommates with men they can't stand because they can't afford rent. Focus on that shit.
I was listening to the podcast the other day on the treadmill at the gym. I listen to our podcast. You guys should too. And I said something. I was like, for this year, I'm going to get my roommate like the fuck out. I was dying. Oh my God, I was dying. I was like, ah! Everyone was probably like, this bitch. I was like, you see that lady with sunglasses on the treadmill? I'm not the crazy one.
Yeah, I've met him.
Yep. Winter's coming for him too. So we are at episode 140. Winter is coming. It is a Game of Thrones thing, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Winter is coming. Yeah, that's what I tell my 20-year-old self.
The winter's coming?
Yep.
I don't know what that means then.
It means it's about to get real up in here.
Oh.
Basically, like, because,
I guess you have to watch Game of Thrones.
A little Game of Thrones reference. Their castle was called Winterfell.
Oh.
And each, like, they're not royal, but they're like, what do you call it? They're like a prominent family.
Okay.
And I can't remember their names right now, but their castle is called Winterfell.
Mm-hmm.
So when they say winter is coming, it's like this family is coming for you.
Mm.
So that is reference to their family, like, we coming for you, winter is coming.
Damn.
So that
makes me maybe want to watch.
So basically, it means it's about to get real up in here. So that's part of what I would tell myself. Like, your 20s, you can play. 30s, you can still play, but you got to be conscious of who you're playing with, how you're playing, how long you're playing, what you're playing for.
The worst part about this is I had this conversation today. I was like, oh, you should come to my podcast, but that's HIPAA violation rules. It's like, I understand where our parents, I mean, maybe no parent has like the right way to go about saying it or doing it, but I watched my 17-year-old client and her mom talking, and she actually listened, and the mom told a story about how she, was working, and she lived in her family, and her mom. She said her mom got remarried, and like she lived with her stepfather, and they had 2 other kids, and she's like that she saved up $2,000 for a car, and that the dad took the money to like move them into a new house, the stepdad. And then she was like, okay, well, can I get a new car now? Because I gave you guys that money I was saving. And they were like, no, you don't need a new car. But then when her stepbrother and sister both turned 18, they bought them both new cars. She's like, I held that. Like, I carried that with me. And, and then my parents were kind of like pushing me to like be married and stuff. She's like, so I got married and I married this man. And like, I wanted to have a better life for myself. So I moved all the way to Germany. And then she goes on to like say how she went to Germany with this man. And like, she had 2 children with him. And he worked all the time, but he was kind of like verbally abusive. And, she said that she got enough money to like get her and the kids out and get her a house. She's like, I had everything. She's like, I worked full time. I like did everything that I could. I was doing what I needed to do to take care of my family. She's like, and then the father was paying me child support. She's like, so I did have the extra money. She's like, and I take my family on vacation every year. She's like, now I'm with a man who doesn't always want to work, and I'm struggling. She's like, look where I am. Like, they're on welfare, and she's like, I went from there to here, and she's like, and then I had her, like, my client, and she's like, I wanted her. She's like, but all I want now is better for her, and I want her to see that even though this is the life we have, this isn't the life that we could have, and because of the choices that I've made, this is the life we have, but I'm exhausted. I can't give her better anymore. I have nothing left in me. She said that like she had given her kidney or something to her sister, and after she did that, she's like she started having a bunch of medical problems, and she's like, I can't do what I used to do. I can't hustle like I used to hustle. She's like, and all I want is for her to make better choices. And she's like, and she's with a boyfriend who doesn't want to work, and he sits on his ass all day and plays video games. And
the 17-year-old.
Yeah, she's like, and maybe she thinks that's okay because it's like her father. She's like, but it's not, because she's never going to have more than what she has now.
How old's the boyfriend?
He's 20-something. 20. And she's like, but even at 20, I feel like some of us had like a little bit more hustle than that.
I was wondering if he was 17 too.
No.
20, if you're not in school, you need to be working.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like...
But then he probably got parents that's allowing him to sit and play video games.
And some of the stuff is cultural, but some of it, I said to her, and I said to her mom, I was like, you can sit here and tell her these stories till you're blue in your face. And then I asked her, like, how do you feel about what your mom's saying? And she's like, I lived it. I get it. And she's like, but I'm just going to make the decisions that I want to make for myself. I'm like, and that's fine. Nobody is going to be able to sit here and tell you to do differently. Right. Even though we all know better. That's the problem, is that now we're like 20 plus years from where we were, or, give or take. And it's like, we know. And if you could sit here and say, oh my God, I wouldn't have done this, or I wouldn't have done that. Like, I don't know if there's any fixing that, except like being more realistic about what's going to be. And like right now it's like, oh my God, I'm in love. I love my boyfriend. When you're like 17, 18, 19, 20, you're like, I just want to be with him. We're going to be married. You're not.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And it's like, and like, it's like as your parent or aunt or big sister or mentor or whoever you are to somebody you're saying this to, like anybody would feel like it's my responsibility to tell you what I know. You go do what you want to do. But you can't say I didn't tell you.
Right.
Like, it was my responsibility to tell you what I know, and I told you. If you want to, I mean, and there's some people, I know, this is like, I don't know if it's like a personality thing, but some people have to take the hard road all the time.
Right.
Like, me personally, like there's some things that I was told, and I went and did it and found out for myself. But there was a lot of things, when somebody told me, I was like, oh, I ain't fucking with it then. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just one of those people. I want the easy road. I want the easy way out. I don't want to, like, it's certain things. It's like, all right, I know I got to work hard for this. I have to, struggle to do this or whatever. But it's something, if you tell me, April, I did that once and a bunch of spiders fell out, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not opening it. I'm not moving the ceiling thing. If you told me I moved my ceiling thing and centipedes fell. Right. Okay, well, I'm not fucking with it. Right. But some people be like, some people be like, oh, I'll open it. Ain't no spiders up there. It's so, but like, to me, I'm good. Like, you tell me some shit happened, I'm like, oh. Well, she wouldn't lie to me.
Right.
I think I'm but I know people.
Like I saw this lady try heroin once and she died right in front of me. Be like, what? I'm good.
I'm good. Now I'm gonna just stick with this weed. Like, but it's like it's some people you tell. It's like they do it just because you told them not to.
I feel like that. I feel like that talking to these young people, like, and I feel like how my mom and dad probably felt. Like I don't have the patience for it. Like, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Like you love him now, and you're giving him all your time and everything and all this effort. Like he's not allowed to go out because his parents don't want him to go out, but you're breaking all the rules and probation and all these things just to be with him. Right. For what? And now you got people coming to your house every day because you need behavioralists and everything else, just because you want to be with him and watch him play video games all day.
And then you're rebelling, but I guarantee you that guy, when he finally decides to get off his behind, he's gonna go find somebody got their shit together.
I told her, I was like, listen, when I was your age, I was in love with a kid who smoked weed, did drugs, sold drugs. He never did it in front of me. He was always very like, no, can't do for drugs in front of Jen. But he's not doing anything different now. Right. Like, he's a cool person. Like, we're friendly, but he's a little off. I think he did a little too much drugs, but he's nowhere different than he is when I met him. He might have got some more skills, a couple kids under his belt, but he's not like, he had an opportunity to go to college for free. He never did anything with that. Like, he's nowhere different than he was. And, like, if you're not pushing to be somewhere in your 20s, you may not end up anywhere. Like, it's kind of a now or never thing. And, listen, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to do this or that. But
try to take as easy a road as possible. Like, why make your life more difficult? And I think that's something you learn as you get older also. Whether it's debt, whether it's credit cards, whether it's love or relationships, why do you want to make your life is already difficult? Like the base level, like life is difficult. Right off the bat. So it's like, why do you want to make your life more? I always had that thought in my head. Like, I was always conscious of it. Like, life's hard. Like, when I left home and I was paying bills, I'm like, life is fucking hard. I don't want to add more difficulty to my life. That's why I was always like, listen, you like me or you don't like me. You come in when you say you coming or you're not. Okay, you're not going to show up when you say you're coming. Okay, don't call me no more. Because I'm like, why do I want to make my life more difficult than it needs to be? Life's already hard. Working and paying bills is hard.
And what can I see you, like, if he tells you he's going to be there at 9 and it's 9:05, you shut the lights and lock the door.
But I mean, like, it's 10:30 and I haven't heard from you. I'm like, all right, listen. The second time, third time, it's like, all right, this is who you are. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like, I don't want my life to be more difficult than, it's like parking at a fire hydrant. Why do you want a ticket? Why do you want more? That's another bill. That's another situation. It's like when people park in the yellow. I don't park in the yellow. I don't park at fire hydrants. I don't block driveways. You know why? I don't need to give this town any of my hard-earned money. And it was like, it's a car by my house that's always in the yellow and always has a ticket. I'm like, are you rich? How many jobs do you work that you can pay the town all your money? The tickets. $50 a ticket? Like, I mean, you must eat oodles and noodles. Because that $50 could be groceries. I digress. I'm just saying. Like, some people are like, why don't make life more difficult? Then that would definitely be something I tell my 20-year-old self off the bat. Don't do anything that make your life more difficult than life already is.
Sometimes you don't know that life is going to be more difficult. Like, sometimes, like, with stuff with work, I don't think, like, I didn't know that mouthing off was going to, like, get me in so much trouble. I don't know if you would have told me if I would have cared then, but, you know, I was definitely like, yeah, fuck these people. And, whatever. Got in a little bit of trouble and lost my job. But,
I think that would definitely be advice an older person would tell. Like, I mean, I think I would have told, in those days back when we were at that job and we had a lot of issues, I think I would have told myself to handle it differently. Play the game but smarter. Right. Because my thing was, you just made me hot and I'm just about to tell your ass, you know what I mean? But like a part of me would have been like, outsmart them a little bit better. Be a little more, calculated.
Right, like now in my job, like I get my shit done and I pretty much get to do what I'd like to do most of the time. So, like I know that as long as I'm pleasing the boss, then no one bothers me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Before I was like, I'm not here to please you.
Right.
I'm just here to get a check.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't realize that getting a check was sometimes pleasing the boss.
Right.
But we made a list. Maybe we want to go through the list or no?
So we could do the list. I guess we can do each one and then.
Okay.
So, what would you tell your 20-year-old self about love? And then what would you tell, secondly, what would you tell millennials about love that you don't think they may, you think they may not know?
Love is painful. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
not all cheery, fun.
Now, what did you think love was when you were 25, let's say? 23. Early 20s.
So this is what happened yesterday. Yesterday, I was hanging out with I wasn't hanging out. Me and my cousin were both, like, working in the same Panera. And she was like, I have to call Brooklyn. I have to text Brooklyn because they work together at some point. And she's like, I have to text him and ask him about something that happened at their job that she's putting in her book. She's like, I just want to, like, fact check myself because I don't want to, like, get talking at my ass if something happened and it didn't happen. So, like, I don't really think about him unless his name comes up. And, like, then, we talked about him for a few seconds, and I basically said, like, I'm happy that he's happy. I'm happy that he's grown in life and that he never killed himself like he always said he wanted to. And I think that she was his person, and maybe she just wasn't his person at that time, and maybe I just needed him to grow. But I'm happy that he's happy. And, like, then I thought it was gone. But then I had a dream about him. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, fucking 20 years later, get out of my no, it's literally been, like, 10 years since we broke up. I'm like, get out of my head. And it wasn't, like, one of those, like, romantic dreams, but it was kind of like a reminiscent dream. And, like, I remember, I woke up and I was, like, thinking about it. Like, I remember when we used to go to the city, and, like, we were just, like, so kindred. Like, we would go to, like, we used to go to this place. I think it was called Vitality. It was on Eldridge, or the block over from Eldridge in New York City. And, like, it used to be, like, a late night spot where they would, like, do an oxygen bar and juices. And then, like, in the back, they'd, like, spin break beats and, like, drum and bass. And we would just sit there and drink juice at, like, 4 o'clock in the morning and, like, literally enjoy each other's company. And, like, to me, that was love. I was like, this is the most amazing thing ever. And I'd, like, drive home from Brooklyn when the sun's coming up, and I was just, like, tickled pink. To me, that was love. All the other stuff I didn't think was love, but I thought that maybe it came with it.
So it had some things in common.
Right.
And it was somebody who, like, genuinely was talking to you,
right.
wanting to get
really
to know
got
you.
Each other.
It wasn't physical.
No.
I mean, it wasn't a way, but I mean, most importantly, it wasn't physical.
No.
Right.
It wasn't physical. The physical stuff was, like, a plus, but...
Right, but the most important thing wasn't physical.
And it wasn't.
The spiritual connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I think, like, because I believe that feeling was love, and that was, like, the only person I can have that with, I think it not allowed me, but made me accept all the other things, which were definitely not love,
right?
That went with that relationship. So I think I just kind of thought it was, like, this, like, oh, we're, like, soulmates, like, and that's what this is supposed to be, and, like, we're gonna love each other forever, and whatever. And I think that's what it was, and now I don't necessarily think that that's what it is. I think it's more of, like, a team thing, and I think that some days there's going to be hard days, and some days there's going to be, like, amazing days. Like, my boyfriend walked around the house this morning like, I hate you. And I was like, I love you, but I hate you. And he's like, I hate you too, but I love you too. And I'm like, you're just pissing me off, like,
don't forget your lunch. See you later.
And I was like, I fucking hate you. I was like, do you want bacon? And I was like, he's like, I hate you too. I'm like, but you love me, right? He's like, yeah, of course I love you, but I hate you. I was like, I know. Look, if I go to bed mad, I wake up mad. I don't wake up better.
Right. No.
I just don't. So, but that's what I thought love was, and I think that, I don't know, like, I think what you think love is has a lot to do with how you were brought up and, like, what you've seen, what your parents have told you, or your grandparents tell you, and, like, I don't know. I think some people, like, want to emulate. Like, I remember watching Married at First Sight a lot, and they were, like, always like, oh, my grandparents had this, like, great relationship.
Grandparents are 85. I was born in 1908.
Right. And
grandparents were born 100 years ago.
You know, I don't know what I really don't know what millennials think is love now, but I think that something that takes time, patience, and I also believe in the whole, like, you'll have, like, 3 great loves of your lifetime thing. Like, I don't think I think you can love more than one person. Maybe not at the same exact time, but in your lifetime. And I think that, the first train that seems hot, I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what I would say.
And granted, we're generalizing. I'm sure not all millennials. Everybody does. We know everybody doesn't think alike. We know everybody, but it's a general. Some things are
millennials, or are they going to be something else?
I think there's something else. I don't know what it is. X, Y, Z. I don't know. Start over at A. I don't know. What are you doing? Run out of letters.
Assholes.
But I do think though that some mindsets are generational. That's why I said, to somebody you want to be like your grandparents. It's a different mindset when you're from a different era. Because it's like, okay, you may see your grandmother do a lot of things for your grandfather that you look at your man like, his legs ain't broke, his arms ain't broke. But grandma was home all day.
Right.
Grandma didn't work because they didn't give women jobs. So yeah, grandma was waiting on him hand and foot because he was working 12-hour shifts. And to bring home enough to feed everybody. So yeah, grandma was waiting on him. That's why she does that. So it's some things like, but I do think millennials, it might be a little bit of.
I don't have to get as attached.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong, but I think this generation might be taking marriage back a little bit to the business side.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to live in this gentrified neighborhood with me and drink Starbucks every day and have the income to do it? To live in this renovated loft, and it's almost like a lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
Like, and live in this neighborhood with our Converse and our hoodies on and work at some tech company. And, it's almost
They're also
like...
not getting married, though.
Yeah. It's almost like
really
a business thing. Yeah, I think it's because everything's expensive. And, everything's so expensive. And, people... I saw an article about a woman.
Should ask him when to tell his 20-year-old self.
A woman said she's like a lawyer or something, and she makes 6 figures, and she talks about the money she spends in a month. And I guess basically the moral of the story is this woman lives in Manhattan, she makes 6 figures, and she really don't live all that fancy. The way you would think somebody lives fancy. And she probably doesn't live. She lived in Hoboken or Jersey City, Edgewater. Because, it's cheaper than Manhattan. But when you spending $8 a day on Starbucks and $20-$30 a day on taxi rides and all that stuff adds up. So I think it's getting very businessy. I think when you can also, this generation, you can create children. You have an extra 6,000. You can tell them which gender you want it to be. Like, you really don't have to.
A baby was just born with a
transplanted womb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. It's something else you can give somebody if you're an organ donor. Hey, take my uterus. That's cool though. They can transplant. Why not? What you dead? What the hell you gonna do with it? But I think the millennial thing is a bit of I don't know how old Offset is. I know Cardi B's in her 20s, but looking at their little millennial relationship, it's like this isn't working out. Divorce.
Were they married?
Mm-hmm. Oh. There was no, I want this to be like my grandparents' marriage. This isn't working out.
I wish I could do her voice. I
Oh,
just can't.
But
she's like, me and my baby's daddy aren't together anymore.
Right. And it's like,
I was
okay.
Like, whoa. She was just like, anyway.
On to the next one.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
You're right. And
I already asked for a threesome with like 2 other girls.
Oh, Lord. And it's just like, I can see that being sort of, everybody does it. But, some things are low.
So that kind of covered love and relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
What would you tell them about money?
Save it.
Yes.
Save it and invest it back in yourself. When I was 20, shopaholic. I wasn't into. I didn't go as far as Gucci and Prada and Louis Vuitton, and I wasn't buying that stuff. But I mean, if I would have saved the money I spent shopping, I probably could have. I probably could be owning something right now. At least a condo. At least a 1-bedroom condo. Or I could have student loans a little more paid off than they are now. It could be a lot of things. Like, just learn how to spend your money in a way. Get yourself out of debt first. And I didn't have credit card debt. Wasn't really into charging stuff. But I worked 2 jobs and I would just spend extra money. And I always had something. Like, but I had no, if you get fired, there's 6 months rent money in the bank. And like, technically, if you don't, I would say when it comes to money, don't buy an expensive car. No need to be 20-something years old with no kids with a freaking $30,000 SUV. If you can afford it, fine. But if you can afford it means you own something, student loans is paid off, you had no debt, that's the only way you should have a gas-guzzling SUV. Other than that, like, there's no reason. Like, I should have been driving a Toyota Yaris.
I didn't have a savings until my late 30s. And there's not that much in there right now. I'm not bragging.
But I mean, like, I would tell myself, go get a cheap, fuel-efficient car. Go live in a studio apartment and get a fuel-efficient car and pay off everything and everybody. It's not like now, but I probably would have told myself, fuck the cable bill and forget trying to have a 1-bedroom. Go in the smallest possible thing you have, drive the most fuel-efficient car you can, and pay your shit off. That's definitely what I told myself. And I told myself, too, when it comes to money, is graduate school what you really want, or is a master's degree just something that you're using to validate yourself in some other way? Because I would have took the money I borrowed for a master's degree and invested it in myself and had my own business. Ask me what? I just had my own damn business. Some kind of shop. I don't know if it's candles in it. I don't know if it's books in it, but a shop. I would have invested in myself. That's something I would have told my 20s. Like, take more chances. And I think I would have traveled more in my 20s. That's somewhere else that money could have went. It's to traveling. Because I like to travel. And I worked and worked and worked a lot. Because in my mind, I wanted to have the money to shop. But the money should have been to travel. I did travel some, but like out of the country. And I think I would have moved away.
Where, like?
I think in another state, anywhere.
Oh yeah, for college.
I think it's
or just like in general.
Just as an adult, just go somewhere else. Yeah, just leave the comfort zone. And I think it builds character when you can live somewhere you never lived before. So I would have I didn't have a boyfriend, I didn't have a kid, I had nothing to lose by just moving somewhere else, right. Living somewhere else. So I would say too, if you have a job
even
offer,
if it's close enough that you can come home, like
right.
You live in Jersey, if you go move to Philly for a year or something,
right. Mm-hmm. Even like I would say to the 20s, if you have a job offer, or if you go to just to visit another city, and you're like, yo, this is a fly city, I love it here, move there.
Try it.
Like, for what? If it doesn't work out, come back. Sleep on your mom's couch and get you an apartment. Come back. Like, I encouraged a friend. She's 30, 31. She's an RN. She has no boyfriend, no kids. She's like, I was looking at jobs in other states. I'm like, go. You have no attachments. You have nothing keeping you here. Right. You have no reason at all to be stuck in New Jersey. Go. Go where... Yeah.
Probably make more money. Be able to save more money.
Yep. And I was just like, go. You don't know, dating scene is not cool here. You're not connected with anybody. Go. Go live somewhere else.
Same. I agree. I never saved. I spent all my McDonald's paychecks. And all the other ones after that. Self-acceptance. What would we say about self-acceptance and love? I don't know if I've ever had a problem with that. Maybe, I don't know. I mean...
I was always obsessed over my weight.
You ever see that meme that says, I wish I was as fat as I thought as I was the first time I thought I was fat.
But I really wasn't all
Yeah.
that.
I was like, damn. That's how I felt. I mean, I remember like people talking about my nose when I was little, and I was just like, this is my nose. Like, it's not perfect, but it's mine.
It is what it is. Yeah.
I did go for a consultation, but not to do the reconstruction, just so I can breathe because it's deviated. And they were like, well, first we cracked the nose. I'm like, fuck this. And I've seen people who've had nose jobs. My mother's one of them. And, like, they have, like, these little scars everywhere on their nose. Like, you know that, like, a new nose was put on. Like, it's not Humpty Dumpty perfect. Like, I don't know. I don't over obsess over those things.
I know people, too, have a nose job say you can't tell. That their nose look exactly the same as it looked before they paid $8,000.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I think I have an issue with the weight thing is just, if it's a health thing, that's it. I mean,
Right.
But not to sit there. I had a friend whose mom was always like, you've gained weight, you've this, you, and like that's terrible. Like I don't, as parents, you shouldn't do that.
And that can give somebody might have thought they looked all right, and here you come.
Right.
Like, well, damn. Yeah.
So I mean, but you are who you are, and as long as you're comfortable with yourself, I think that's the most important thing. I mean, and I don't think you should try to over extend yourself financially or physically or anything for like anyone else or to fit in with anyone else. Like, you know, like some girls will be like spending all this money on like clothes and makeup and stuff because they want to like fit in with a specific crowd or something. And it's like, if you're happy with who you are, who the fuck cares what everyone else thinks about you? Exactly. And if they don't like you, you know.
And I think too with self-acceptance is hair. Was like I know quite a lot of when we were young women, a lot of people was obsessed with having long hair. Because I mean, like I've read a lot of things about what attracts like what makes human beings attracted to each other, what makes men attracted to women, what makes women attracted to men, and what makes people an attractive person in general. Like what is like why is this person like why do women find Idris Elba attractive? Why do people find Denzel Washington attractive? Like, and there's certain things that's like they say supermodels have eyes that are far apart, and they have certain sized forehead and all these other cheekbones and all these things. I mean, it attracts people. Their eye, it attracts the eye. So, and I remember them saying like men are attracted to women with long hair because it's like a symbol of youthfulness and fertility. I guess men find it very sexy when women toss their hair. You know, in the movies, women always take like some kind of magical clip out and then toss the hair down. So something that turns men on for whatever reason. It just does. Something in their brain ignites. And so anyway, and I guess it's just something that, like a lot of times people say your hair is growing. Your hair is growing. That's something people kind of compliment you on.
Right.
So, of course, naturally, women are a little obsessed with having long hair. Mm-hmm. And if, God forbid, you go to the thing and they cut your hair too short, women cry. You know what I mean? Like, right. Like, that first time somebody cuts your hair too short, nobody says, it's just hair.
Right.
You have a mental breakdown. You know what I mean? So, I think not being too obsessed with hair and, you know, with me, it was with, you know, a lot of us, it was with perming the hair. Having the hair super straight and getting roller sets and sitting under dryers and all that. Scalp. I think I would have told my 20-year-old self, don't be afraid to get. I wanted locks years before I got them.
Really?
Years before. I mean, when I first saw Whoopi Goldberg, I said I wanted. I was a kid.
Really?
I was a kid.
Would your mom not let you?
No, not as a kid. She wouldn't have. But as a kid, she wouldn't. But even as an adult, like when I was 18 or 19 and watching Lauryn Hill on TV and hers was like all like puffed out and wild. She just looked so cool. And I was like, dang, she looks so cool. Like I want locks. I want my hair like that. And just, you know, afraid. Like, you just tell yourself, I have to keep wearing it like this. Or whatever the case is, you have to go through a process. You have to cut your hair. You have to do all kind of things.
What'd you do with your hair before locks? I met you when you had baby locks.
When I started, I had a little fro.
Oh yeah, you did. I
Yeah,
have a
and I
picture of
used
you
to have a
somewhere.
scarf and a little, like, I
Uh-huh.
would, like, braid it and take it out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
I
yeah,
started
you
to, yeah. But yeah, I would have told him way earlier to
do it.
wait. I don't know if I don't know, maybe 26 or something. Way earlier, I would have stopped with the roller sets and just like don't be afraid. It's hair, like because right now I'm at the point. I was like, if I ever decide to cut my locks, I'm gonna have short hair.
You would?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna have some kind of
Get a little
short haircut.
Mohawk going
I
on?
might go to the barber, get some shit zigzag on the side. Like I'm like, I would never have long hair again.
Really?
Yeah,
Is it a lot to take care of?
short hair probably, but
Well,
I
you
would
gotta
have
go all the
it
time.
really short. Like I would have, like I would like if I were to let my locks go, I would cut it all like Jada Pinkett and set it off.
Damn.
I would cut it all off, and I was like, just start from wherever I go from here. Let's see where it goes. But I always say that I would take it all off, and I'm not growing it long again. I'm not gonna be attached to it. It's just gonna be hair.
You're not gonna keep your locks somewhere in the back.
Right? No.
In case you want to put them back in.
But they say when you somebody say you go to sew them back in, they have to be strong. They can't be dyed and weak, and so I go along with that.
I don't know if this is like a thing, but I've heard of a lot of people like cut their locks like if they go through something like traumatic, I guess, and they want to like a reborn themselves.
Yep.
The girl on Black Ink just cut her whole. She shaved her head. She looks so pretty bald. She had all these locks, but she said she shaved her head. She said because she had her boyfriend's locks sewn into her locks. And she's like, I didn't know where his ended and mine began, so I just shaved my whole head. I was like, damn. Like,
that's what I would be if I'm really ready. If my hair starts thinning or my hairline starts moving back, I'm not holding on to them. Take them off.
like Stevie.
It was one year I almost took them off,
Really?
and she talked me out of it. She was like, I regret, the girl that does my hair was like, I regret cutting my locks off. I don't have time to do my hair. My hair's a mess. I got scarves on all the time. Like, it's like I don't do my own hair. So I do everybody else's hair and I don't have time for mine. And she was like, I regret cutting my locks off. And I was like, oh my God. And that was the end of that.
See, April takes the easy way out. She's like, she doesn't like it.
Yep, because I'm like, I'm not going to do my hair every night. I can barely, stay up past 9:30. Who's going to be up twisting pieces of hair together and finding products?
Well, what would you tell millennials and your 20-something self about men? God, I don't even know.
I would definitely say when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Oh my God, that's what I wanted to write last night.
Yeah.
Yo, exactly. That is exactly all I have to say.
I don't believe in he has potential.
Maya Angelou had it right the first time.
Yeah. I don't believe in, if you have potential and it's meant to be, when your potential, when you start acting on it and you come back to me, then we'll see.
Yeah.
It's just, we both, shit,
that is, the realest thing ever said by anyone. And it's so, so, so true. Like, I wrote a poem once. I don't know where it is. I'll post it somewhere. But it was basically like, he said this, but I heard this. He said this, but I heard this. Like, people tell you what's happening. You just sometimes don't want to listen.
You don't want to listen. Yeah.
You know, you're like, no, it's going to get better. Like, no, that's not what he said.
Right.
In your head, you're like...
You just changed the words completely around in your mind.
Right. In your mind, you're like, no, this is going to get better.
It's like Iyanla, when watching Iyanla's show, and she has a couple or two people, it might be two sisters, two brothers, whoever, talking to each other. She'll have somebody say how they feel, and then she'll ask the person, what did you hear them say? Because it's almost like what you heard them say might not be what they meant, or what they meant might not be what you heard.
Absolutely.
So it's almost like she always acts, and I always think that, and I always try to remember that, if me and my boyfriend is talking, sometimes, if I think about it, if I'm conscious of it, I'll ask him, what did you hear me say? And sometimes he says something, I'm like, that's not what I meant at all. What the fuck just happened? But and then sometimes, he never asks me, of course, what did you hear me say? That's, not going to happen. But, or sometimes I say, what I just understood you saying is, and am I on point with that, or did I misunderstand you?
Right.
Especially if it's something serious or something that's upset one of us or whatever. I'll be like, okay, this is how I understand what you just said. If I'm wrong, say it. Like, if I misunderstood you, say. And sometimes he'll be like, no, that's not how I meant it. And then he'll say it a different way, or the same way again. That happens. But, or he'll say it a different way. I'll be like, oh, okay. I didn't get that from it the first time, but I got you. You know, like, sometimes it's not. But sometimes people say exactly what the fuck they mean. And it's not what you want to hear. It's not nice. It's not okay, and it might be disrespectful as hell. But if the person is being honest, take that. Like, I met a guy once. I really liked him, and he was like, "I just got out of a relationship with my girlfriend. I don't." He's like, "I like you. You're a nice girl, and like I like spending time with you. I'm attracted to you. But I don't want to be in a relationship." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "I'm cool with that." Right. Like, I liked hanging out with him. He was a nice guy, and I had zero expectations from him.
Because you understood it.
And I'm like, I really appreciate you being honest. That is very refreshing. Like, and I'm like, if you don't call me tomorrow, that's fine. Right. It's almost like he kind of said pretty much like, I'm fucked up from my relationship. Like, I have trust issues. I have all these things going on, and right now I'm just hanging out. And I was like, cool. Like, thank you. I understand, because I probably would be in the same situation. I'd probably be fucked up too. And I understand, and that's great. I have no expectations of you whatsoever. And I don't know what happened. One day we kind of just fell off from talking, and I was not the least bit upset or shocked, or I just went on with my life. And so I would tell my 20-something-year-old self, hold honesty to the highest esteem, the highest regard. If you're an honest person, we could go anywhere and do anything and have the best relationship ever. Not necessarily a romantic one, but friendship, whatever. But if you're not an honest person, I have no time for you. Right. Just don't spend time. Like, if you see a guy kind of like to talk in circles or talk around the truth, just forget it. Because basically, that's a nice way of lying. Like, lying, but I'm not lying, but I'm kind of lying. No, like, or that guy stay away from that guy that says, but I didn't say it. Like, the guy that says, if you say to the guy, you didn't tell me you had a girlfriend, but I didn't say I didn't have one either. Stay the fuck away from him, seriously. Don't go in. You didn't tell me you were at the mall. I didn't tell you I didn't go to the mall. Get the fuck out of here. He's a liar. Trust me. He's a liar.
Oh my goodness. What about race?
I would tell my 20-something-year-old self, race is just a social construct that is so stupid. We all caught up in it, unfortunately. We've all, the generations before us has set us up, and we've all subscribed to it, but it is just so, race is just such a made-up, stupid thing. There's a human race, and that's it. We all just different skin colors. We different ethnicities and cultures. Right. But race is something that was just made up to divide us. And I would tell myself not to at all put so much emphasis on it. Like, if our 20-something-year-old selves did not hold race to such a high regard, we would not be in a situation where I do not think today would be as bad as it is.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if anything in my 20s, like, shaped. I don't know. I can't, like, formulate it. Like, I don't know if anything happened to me in my 20s, or I did anything in my 20s to affect race. I was still dating interracially and kind of mixed array of friends. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I guess I just never really subscribed to it. Like, not that I didn't take it seriously, like, you know, but I don't like the whole, like, check white. Like, I'm a little pale today, but, like, like white, black.
It's putting you in a category that you like, what is white? It makes you question it, though, too.
Like, what does it matter if I'm white or black for this stereo system? Like,
right.
Like, I'm, like, filling out a registration to, like, register my stereo, so it's, like, gives a warranty, and I have to tell you if I'm white or black? What?
Yeah, just for statistical purposes.
Like,
What are these statistics telling you? That more white people buy Pioneer stereos than black people? Like, but it's like, I think my high school, like, I grew up in Hackensack is a diverse city. The school was diverse, but we were segregated. And then there was some of us that crossed those lines. But when you if you would have stood in the lunchroom, you would have saw it. It was segregated.
Oh, okay.
But it's like there was some of us, like I had a Filipino friend. Wasn't allowed at the house though. She couldn't go to nobody's house either. I don't know if it was a cultural thing or what.
Really?
Couldn't go to her house. But she couldn't go to nobody's house either. So it might have been a little more cultural.
Right.
But
How the fuck is she supposed to have friends then?
She was very hip hop. She was very hip hop. She can draw like graffiti, and nice. she one time in art class, I remember she like did something and she drew her Timberland boot with something. She was like really cool. She could draw, and I had white friends, friends I guess who identified as white. I should say Spanish. We was all cool, but you could see everybody very segregated. And it's like we was cool in class. It's like, I don't care if you Colombian,
right?
If you white, it doesn't
matter.
Did
you do the math homework?
Right, we in the same class, but you could see that, you could see the separation. You could see it happen. Like, you get out of school, everybody goes separate way.
I went to a small high school, and I think it was a little cliquey too, but it was almost like you saw the color grade, like some of the Spanish, some of the black kids would hang out with the Spanish kids, some of the Spanish kids would hang out with the white kids. Some of the white kids would hang out with some of the black kids, but if they played the same sport. Like, right. Mm-hmm. But it was only like, I graduated with like 120 kids. Like, not, like if it was that many.
Right. Was that was just the seniors?
Yeah, I mean.
The graduating class was 120.
Yeah. Okay. But there was only like 400 kids in the whole school.
In this whole, right.
If that.
I think our school had about 1,900 students.
Yeah. We had a small school. Like, the school was probably like smaller than this block right here. Like. So we all saw each other, but I mean.
But I would have hoped, like, my 20-something-year-old self and the people, even I guess that's kind of telling our teen selves. But, I mean, it was almost like things were expected of you. If you were black, if you were white, if you were Hispanic, it was certain things expected of you. Like, you couldn't be. There were nerdy black kids. That was another group. Because you were supposed to be nerdy. You were supposed to be. My high school's a fashion show. So you were supposed. If you wasn't into Jordan, against all odds open, we was in high school. Oh, yeah. We was in middle school. So once you got to high school, like, you wasn't into fashion and hip-hop and these things. Like, what are you doing? Like, all you care about is academics. Like, what are you? Right. So it's like. You were, and then the Filipino girl and maybe somebody else, a little hip-hoppy. Okay, like, so you come with us because you hip-hop. You Filipino, but you hip-hop. You come with us. But if you, like, the white kid that's, like, into, like, Nirvana, then you stay over there. You go over there. But it's like, maybe Nirvana and Foo Fighters was cool, but, like, it's like, more money, more problems is on. Like, what are you talking about? What is Foo Fighters? It was very, everybody was, white kids like, I'm going Central Avenue. Are you kidding me? They'll beat me up. All these things, there's all kind of things separating us. So it like set us up to not get in our 20s. And now we, that's the only thing I would say college broadened my horizons, because it's like, that's not, people have different things. There's rock music. There's nothing wrong with listening to it. There's, it's nothing wrong with listening to different music, hanging out with different people, learning different stuff, listening. College can do that for you. But I would tell my 20-year-old self not to focus too much on race and what it allegedly means. Because the things we associate with people's race has nothing to do with race.
A lot of it, I think, is from your parents. Like, even, like, the girl who I work with, like, they're Turkish, and she's like, my parents don't like my boyfriend because he's Greek. Both white.
Right.
I was like, that's their problem? Okay.
Well, they don't like his ethnicity.
Right. I'm like...
His culture.
She's like Greeks and Turkish people don't like each other. I was like, what? Who the? This is 2018.
Do y'all know why?
Right.
Like, you know, and it's like it's certain things like when it's like certain things is a culture and we think it's race.
Right.
Like if you go somewhere and it's like, you know, what they call rednecks. These people with that's location.
Right.
Because like a white dude in Manhattan don't know what the fuck the redneck talking about. That has nothing to do with being white. It's about that where he from. That's the culture where he from. We're rednecks. We have shotguns and pickup trucks. And since we have shotguns and pickup trucks, and we in low country Alabama, we gotta be racist. Like we can't chill with black people. We gotta be racist because this is the culture here. Like this is, you know, we're in Mississippi. We're on this dirt road in this pickup truck with this beard and this shotgun. I gotta be racist. Like some stuff is cultural and we associate it with race. We're doing it because they're white. No, they're doing that because they're from fucking Mississippi. Like, because somebody white somewhere else don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know, like that's why you go to like, you know, if you think of hippies in San Francisco, everybody could have been on their own little, like if you think of feminism is very segregated. Why? We all women. What the fuck is going on? You got white feminists looking at something a different way and black feminists with this agenda. And it's like, but all women are fucked up, treated fucked up. We all are. And sometimes it's not about black or white, it's about vagina. You have a vagina. So
I think sometimes when you go to like communities that are like not, some of the women aren't like worried about like their specific plight to them.
Right.
You'll see like a mixed group of people, they're all together and they're all like for the same thing. Like I know when our lovely president was nominated or whatever happened, like all the women got together in various towns and they had the women's march and we had gone to one and like just a bunch of mixed people there. I mean, it wasn't a very predominantly white town, but there was other people there of other cultures, you know, holding their signs and they were all hanging out together because they were all there for the same thing. Right. You know?
Like I feel like if I'm in a community and it's, you know, or women who look white with brunette hair getting raped, and like I don't give a fuck, you a woman getting raped to me.
Right. You
know what I mean? Like I'm trying to come out and support this or go to the police. What you doing about these women getting raped? Doesn't matter if they white. It doesn't matter if they white brunettes. Blondes, everybody should be out. Like what y'all doing about this rapist out here? Like women are getting attacked. To me, women are getting attacked. If they're white brunette women, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, or when they say, you know, like, there was a video of a doctor, I don't know what her race or ethnicity was, but the doctor was talking about how she feels like, you know, women who identify as black or African American get treated worse, diagnosed worse, not listened to and all these things by doctors and when they have kids and stuff. And I'm like, why is this doctor the only one speaking out? Like, why is this doctor the only one that cares? It should be male doctors, female doctors, black, white, Middle Eastern, Hispanic. You're a doctor, and these are patients, and this is your field. Like sometimes it's just about this is your field. Speak out because this is where you work. This is, you know. But so I don't know. I would tell my 20-something-year-old self, don't let race stop me. Don't let it put me in a box where I just think to a certain extent because my race might be involved or my race is involved. Don't let it stop me. Like, I'm black. They're not going to let me do that. I'm black. I can't ski. Like, I'm not going to ski resort. Black people don't do that. Black people don't swim. Like, you can't let race put you in a box like that because that's what it was meant to do. So, you got to rebel a little.
And what about beauty? Or is that kind of the same thing as self-acceptance?
I don't know with beauty. I would say, I think sometimes with women, we hold other women to another regard. Have you ever heard somebody say, well, she was skinny with long hair, so that's why he liked her, because, you know what I mean? Or she had big boobs and a big butt, so that's why that guys go for her, because I think sometimes women put other women into boxes because we assume she's the epitome of beauty, or she looks a certain way, and women tend to get intimidated sometimes by other women. And I think a lot of times that's in our minds because, and not to say that that's not what men are attracted to, but I've seen skinny women with no butt and no boobs still get a man. So sometimes men are not as, this guy on Ready to Love said, the physical gets us, but your personality keeps us.
That makes sense.
So that's something I would have told my 20-year-old self. Don't be too, it's not that you shouldn't try to look good or have a nice appearance or, look cute, but beauty is not everything.
The saying beauty is only skin deep is not just
It's true.
a saying. Friendships. I wrote that. I would say that I don't know. I don't know how millennials are. I think that friends. I think people have friends for every specific occasion. Like my friend and I used to go. We're not friends anymore. We used to go to brunch, and one day she told me, she's like, "You're my friend who I go to brunch with, and I used to work with, and I do this with, and I do that with, and I have another friend who I do these things with, and her and I enjoy going to do this." She's like, everyone has their purpose in my life. And to a degree, that makes sense to me, and I feel like sometimes you outgrow people, and sometimes you just kind of drift, and I feel like some people make more than an effort than others, and I think it's okay to, be okay with letting those things go. Mm-hmm. And I think it's also, healthy to let some people go. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily the healthiest thing to, just hold on to people just due to, time and effort that you put in. So, I don't know how millennials are with that, but I would just say, you can only put in so much work, and friendships are just like relationships, and if you feel like you're doing more and you're giving more than you're getting, it's okay to let go. It's not something you have to, stress yourself about.
Is there a friendship you could think of that you had in your 20s that lasted beyond your 20s that you should, that you said, I should have, not been friends with you anymore in my 20s, and I just kept going with it, but you annoyed me then, you annoy me now, and I'm older now. So
possibly. But, you know what it was? I went to high school with some of the same people that I went to college with, and, so that our bond was, even stronger. Mm-hmm. But, there's some people who, I was, friends with for, so long, and now they're just here in my life, and, I feel the distance, and I myself, even approaching 40, I'm like, can I let go?
Right.
Is it okay to let go? And, I just don't put in effort anymore, and I just, this is where I am. If you come to me, then I'm here, but, don't ask me to be the godmother of your children, because, one, my quota's filled, and two, we're not that cool. You haven't put in this, I don't feel like you put in the same amount of effort. And, that's
right.
Something that, my niece, yesterday, she was like, we want you to be the godmother. She's like, we told you that. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, thank you. But, that's something that, I take seriously, and, I don't feel like I'm that good of friends with you for that.
Right.
Why
should we pretend?
Right, but because I'm the only person who you feel like you don't have to put effort in with, and then I'm still here, so... Yeah, I think there are. And then there's some people who I was friends with in my 20s who I'm not friends with anymore for, silly reasons. And I'm like, I wonder if they would have been, entertaining or valuable in my life now. But it is what it is, you can't, regenerate. And then I have a friend who, I was friends with when I was, in grammar school. I'll see her, every once in a blue moon. And that's good enough for us. The only thing that bothers me is sometimes she, puts up things on Facebook about, how everyone's, horrible friends. And I try not to take it personal, and I'm just I put in the same amount of effort that you do.
Right.
But I'm here if you need me.
So you might have to count yourself in that.
Right, I'm just so,
It's like when people say, I haven't heard from you. Well, I haven't heard from you either, so...
Right, that makes two of us.
You didn't call me either. We both got phones. I can see if you were sick or something. You said,
right.
I told you I was sick, I ain't heard from anymore. Okay, I can see you being upset about that. But like, if we just regular living life and you haven't heard from me, okay, well, I can see if you call me, I ain't call back.
Right.
You know, you text me, I didn't text back. Okay, I can see you being like, hey, I text you, I called you, you can call back. But when you haven't put in any effort to call me either, I mean, shit, everybody busy. Yeah. And some people say, well, I've been busy. Okay, well, me too.
Right, like, I was just sitting on my ass.
Right.
And I guess that kind of has to do with, like, forgiveness. I think that it's okay to forgive people and move on and not forget necessarily what they did, but forgive them for yourself. Don't forgive them necessarily to appease them. Mm-hmm. You know, like, oh my God, please forgive me, that was a terrible thing I did. Like, okay, I forgive you because I don't want to hold on to the anger. Because I feel like when people hold on to anger, like, I know people who, like, hold grudges, like, evil grudges, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's damaging you. Stop.
And sometimes people have grudges about things that the other person doesn't even know they're mad about. Right. That's what trips me out. Now, if you, which I've tried, I used to hold grudges, and I kind of don't anymore. Like, I won't fuck with you, but I ain't necessarily angry about it anymore either. I kind of just, like, I'll say hello to you, how you doing, and I kind of just keep going. But there's some people I notice they're mad and they have grudges against people, and the other person doesn't even know. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but what purpose is this serving? They don't even know you're mad. Like, at least tell them.
My friend who had her wedding and her friend showed up in the dress after she was uninvited to the wedding, she still hasn't told her. And she talks to her like there's nothing wrong.
Showed up in the bridesmaid dress.
After she was uninvited as a bridesmaid. Because she disappeared from months at hand. Yeah. She acts like nothing's wrong with her, and she'll talk to her and they'll shoot the shit. I'm like,
I'm sorry,
why
that's not healthy.
don't you say that you were upset? I don't know. If it was me, I'd get a fucking
ass handed to you.
Right. Right. I'm like,
and remember 15 years ago when I did such and such for you?
But yeah, so either you gotta move on with it, let it go, or say something.
I think I would say too to my 20-year-old self, you either outgrow people, or you grow with them, or you outgrow them.
Right.
And you gotta. It gets to a point where you know what's happening. Either you're growing with this person, or you outgrowing them. And if you outgrow them, you gotta let them go, because it's just gonna. It's not. I would also say too, your friends are like a mirror image of who you are. So right. It's like nobody, maybe some people do, but majority of the time, people are not hanging out with a group of thugs. Oh, but I'm a straight-laced person who I don't do nothing. Mm-hmm. So why are you hanging out on the corner with a group of thugs? Or some people, it's like, all your friends is hoes, but you ain't a hoe. So why are you just hanging out with hoes? You know what I mean? It's like, your friends are a reflection. The people you are around are a reflection of who you are. So I would definitely tell my 20-something-year-old self that, if you going somewhere with a bunch of ratchet-ass women, and you in this group of ratchet women, you're like, wow, they ratchet, but I'm not. Okay, so why are you with them? Right. Like, you really have to, that goes back to when you hanging out with the wrong crowd, and your parents like, oh no, you can't hang out with that boy. That boy is, that girl is trouble. It's the same thing. It's like, if you still 25, 30, even in your early 20s, hanging out with people who are not trying to go anywhere in life or do anything worthwhile, it's a reflection of who you are. Maybe you're more like them than you think. So you gotta watch who you hang out with, who you have around you.
The last one is family. I put that because I think there was a lot of times in my 20s I put my family to the side for friends and boyfriends and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And these people are not always going to be with us. Mm-hmm. And, like, now, like, even if it's just to go hang out at my parents' house for a couple hours and just watch them shoot the shit and be aggravating to each other, mm-hmm. like, I'll just go over there and hang out just to spend time with them. Like, and I think it's not that, like, even when we had holidays, I'd be like, oh, gotta go. Right. Like, it used to be like a joke. Like, I used to be like, oh, I want to go, I don't want to be here. Like, but those are times that you can't get back, so you really should be more mindful about the time that you do get to spend with your family, and,
some people don't have no family.
Right.
Their parents passed away, siblings passed away.
So, spend time with who you can. Your friends and your boyfriend will be there, and if they're not, fuck them.
Yeah, one thing I forgot about love. Unconditional, it does not come, 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 it do the beginning. Like when people say, "Oh, I want unconditional love," you gotta grow into that because I mean, I've been in a relationship for 5 years. My love is not yet unconditional. Shit still got conditions. I'm sorry. Maybe another 5 years down the road, maybe it'll be unconditional. But right now, it's not. But I figured out that that's something you gotta grow into. You have to grow. I feel like you have to grow in love too.
Yeah.
People think, "Oh, I'm in love now." Like we've been together a certain amount of time. I'm in love. Not necessarily.
Right.
And I think you can be in love with somebody and marry them, but you're still growing it slowly, growing into it. That's what I mean. Unconditional comes kind of later. I don't think that it's something that comes in the beginning. I mean, maybe 10, 15 years down the road, maybe it is. Like, whatever happens, we together. You know what I mean? Like, right now, like, I'm not to that point. I love you, but this shit got conditions.
Yeah.
Like, there's still conditions on my, like, the only time I can honestly say I know unconditional love is my kid. That's the only, like, kids don't care if you ugly, your hair fall out, you bald. Them little fuckers love you anyway. They don't care if you failed, if you went out in the world and failed and fell on your face. When you walk in the house, their eyes light up.
Aww.
So that's unconditional. But you in a relationship, you're like, oh man, I don't want to go home and tell I gamble all my money, or I don't want to. That's not unconditional. Or if you like, I fucked up, like I can't, I don't want to tell her, I don't want to, all these things you scared to tell the person because of how it may make you look. It's not unconditional yet. It's, but your kid, you walk in that house, they don't give a damn what happened.
You got fired today? I love you, mommy.
Right, yeah. They don't care if you look awful, got morning breath, your butt stink, you ain't showered. They don't care. They'll still kiss you. They'll still kiss you. They'll still hug you. They'll still love you. That's unconditional. Relationship, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I told him too. He understands. He ain't there yet either. I told him he wasn't there yet either.
He's like, okay.
Right. It's definitely something to strive for though. Like
right.
I do want that freedom, almost like whatever happens, we'll get through it. To me, that's unconditional.
Right.
Right now, certain shit happen. I'm like, nah, we can get through this, bro. It's over. This is over. We ain't get through this.
Door. Don't let it hit you in the ass.
Right, we're not gonna make it through this. Nah, we ain't there yet. But I do want to get to a point where it's like we're both, you're happy, and whatever happens, we'll get through it. That takes time, though. So something to strive for. But
hopefully, you guys got a little something out of this.
Yes.
But if anything, write to us and tell us what if you're over 20, 30, and you would tell yourself something, what would it be? And if you have any other topics that you want us to talk about, or if you have any questions or need advice, you can write or text to us because we answer.
It goes to, it goes, that's the Gmail?
It goes to Gmail, but you can text from your phone, so 201-862-8233, which is 8628-BED, and that's 201 area code. Or you can email us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com. And of course, we're on Podbean, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify. I feel like we're somewhere else. I don't know. We're everywhere. Everywhere. Oh, YouTube. Yep.
Free trial support /bedlovebeyond.com.
And you can find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at bedlovebeyond. April's at Miss April Speaks on Facebook and at Truth Complex on WordPress. And I think that's it. Till next time.